Hey everybody, it's Party Elite here with another quick video about Port Royale 4, the upcoming Caribbean colonizer simulator where you play as a governor of a small town under the jurisdiction of one of 4 colonial powers. This video is the full chat I had with the developers about the game, and if you're curious about what I felt were the most salient features, check out the video I put out earlier this week. I'll have it linked in the description down below and under the eye at the top right corner of the screen. I was only vaguely familiar with the workings of Port Royale 3 going into this conversation, and so if you're completely unfamiliar with the series, the foundational information will be provided right at the start. But as we go on, some more interesting things that series vets will also find intriguing will come to light, at least I think and hope so. Needless to say, this chat got me very excited to cover Port Royale 4 on the channel, so I'm not going to keep you waiting any longer. Let's dive in.
Do you know about the Port Royale series?
So I'm somewhat familiar with Port Royale 3 and how it's more focused around trade and economy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's also the fourth part is a mixture of economy, like trading, economy simulation, city building, and also tactical sea battles, some politics. And we are still based in the 16th and 17th century. In the Caribbean Sea, we have 4 nations fighting for dominance, and the player starts as a governor of a small town. And he wants to become the biggest, the greatest, and company leader here in the area. We have tutorials to get into the game. Lots of mini tutorials. If you make them all, then if you fulfill them all, you will get a bonus ship. Then we have a campaign for each nation. All the campaigns will be altogether 15 to 20 hours. But our main mode is the free mode, which is like a little bit like the sandbox mode. And that's what our users most like.
Mm-hmm.
First, you have to choose a nation. It's the nation you play for. You're working for then. It will be the nation all over your game, so you have to choose wisely. Each nation has 2 special ships and also 2 advantages. And you just choose the nation you like the most for your type of playing. For example, the Spain, they can faster increase their cities with workers and citizens. The Netherlands have bonuses on trading. And they have, for example, the Traders Fleet, a very, very huge trading ship and very cheap.
Mm-hmm.
And England concentrates on warships. And so ships are much cheaper there.
Interesting.
And,
So, just wondering, as you're going over the nations, is the concept of playing tall versus wide applied in 4?
How do you mean? You mean small nations versus?
Yeah, like playing as someone that focuses purely on economy as opposed to one that's aggressively expanding or.
As no matter how you play or which nation you choose, you make the main profit you make with the economy, with trading and transporting goods. You can also plunder, you can also capture towns, but to get money you need to sell. You need to sell goods and to get the cities become bigger and bigger. But it depends on what you want to do on the side. Yeah, you can do missions and more politics. You can participate on war and stuff like that. But it's just a part of your business. The main business is trading.
Got it. Awesome.
So then I chose England here, and now we have to choose the character. The characters are different because they have each character has 2 positive and 1 negative perks, and the differences are very powerful. For example, the adventurer here, he is able to rebuild all the vessels that he has defeated in sea battles, while other characters only can build the vessels of their nation.
Oh,
Then we have the merchant. The merchant is very powerful in trading because she's able to trade even with towns that are hostile. So yeah, if as long as she get not as she can avoid military convoys, she's able to enter all towns and do smuggling.
interesting. So this is again, are there more character types, or is it the adventurer versus the merchant?
No, there are, and then we have the buccaneer.
Oh, nice.
He's like the typical English buccaneer. He starts with a lot of fame in the beginning, and he gets letter of marques at a very cheap price. So whenever there's a war, he can just buy a letter of marque and then attack hostile military convoys without being regarded as a pirate. And it depends. If someone likes to have this in the game as well, you can choose this character. And then we have the piratess, and she's maybe a bit difficult to play because she has no advantages on trading. On the other side, you can attack and plunder other traders, and you will only get 50% less loss of fame points or fame. So if you, for example, attack another trader, you can steal all of the goods, and then you can sell the goods. That's also a way to make money. But it's not the big money you can do with it. It's just a bonus. For example, when you're looking for certain commodities.
Okay, so it's a little extra side income as a side gig, I guess.
Yes, it's like this, yeah. Or maybe also, for example, you could also I made a mistake. I wanted to use the buccaneer. Yeah, I need it because of the. Yeah, it's like we have a simulated economy in the background, and I will show you later that there are a lot of traders around. And let's imagine you trying to build a monopoly on a certain good, for example, or you need raw materials for your production. Then you could use piracy, for example, to get the stuff you need.
I see. And can you stop others from getting what they would need to produce what you want to produce?
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
You can also capture ships that want, for example, let's say one ship is bringing raw iron to another town, and you capture you attack this convoy and plunder all the raw iron, so they are not able to build to produce iron metalwares, for example, and ships and stuff like that. So there's a lot you can influence if you want.
Very cool. I love it.
Everything is simulated, and we have also the butterfly effect. You change something on the one end of the game world, and there's a big influence on the other side.
Cool.
So then we have the game settings. First, we see the huge game map. It's the whole Caribbean Sea with 60 towns, and each town it belongs to a nation. This can change during the game because there's war and peace, and you can also try to capture towns, but others do this as well. So you can change the size of your nation for the setup of your game. You can change the size of the nation, the distribution. For example, you see everything that happens, and you can change the distribution of your town, and of course you can choose your hometown. And there's a lot of settings, mostly difficulty settings, and settings for more, for more different startings. Like you can set the resources to random, for example, and you can set the naval battles on the difficulty of naval battles and the number of pirates and stuff like that.
Got it. So this is where you can kind of choose how and what you want to be challenged by for different kinds of players, I guess, right?
Yes, different kind of players. We have the normal mode, but we know that there are a lot of the people, our fans, that play the series since 15 years, and they say that they hate it that all the games become easier, more and more easy by the years. So we still will have a hardcore mode in the game.
Nice. Very nice.
Where you can do everything, very, very detailed, and the profit is much lower and stuff like that. So this is the sea map, In Port Royal 3, the map was divided in the sea map and the town view. But now we have a huge map. Everything is in 3D. What you can see here is I just switched on a cheat. So we can see all the traders and all the convoys here moving around. They're all simulated. They all have their tasks. Most of them are traders, and they're transporting goods from one town to another. Actually, what they do is they buy cheap in towns where goods are produced and where towns where the goods are very good supply, and they bring it to another town where the goods are in shortage. And the price is calculated from offer and demand, so they make money with it.
Very cool. And if we didn't have this cheat on, we wouldn't be able to see everybody. We'd have to like scout them out.
Yes, you would only see what your convoys see. So you see everything around your convoys and your towns, but you don't see what's everywhere. So there are also buccaneers around. There are military convoys. You see the strength of the convoy. For example, there are also pirates around, and there's even the treasure fleet. And they bring settlers and military ships from Europe to the Caribbean Sea, and they take colonial commodities back to Europe.
I see. And can you take advantage of that for extra profits, like sending rum back or amazing.
For example, you can attack everything. You can you can all. Of course, they are very strong, but it's possible. Yeah. So, and you see the towns here. All the towns belong to nations, and each town has, of course, has a name and a size. You can see the size of the town on a scale, on a level, and you see the goods that are produced there. That's important because there are 25 goods in the economy, and they are all. And a town can only produce up to 7. But they need everything, so they have to trade. That's why you see all these little trading arms and bringing and transporting all the goods between the towns.
Okay.
So I will now zoom in so that you can see the.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
So and we will also have different light settings later on. So that you have, that's the typical Caribbean sunset.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So in this mode, it's much better to see what's going on in the town, because you can see every building, every production site, every residential building you can see, and of course you can see every vessel that is moving around. If you will look like this, for example.
Oh wow!
It's a big simulated, seamless world. So we are going now here. We're going back to the town. Most of the buildings are production sites and residential houses, but there are also special buildings like the shipyard here in the town center. We click on it, for example, to do actions in it. Like here we can repair ships and buy ships, sell ships, and we could also order new ships.
I see. And ordering new ships as in coming in from your home country, or
military ships are coming in from there, but you can also produce them here on your own with own construction materials. Sometimes you can buy ships or sell ships from other traders. You can buy ships from used ships from other traders, or ships that just came from Europe. But if you need special ships and large number of them, you could it's maybe better to order them and to construct them on your own.
Right. And then if you're trying to build a ship yourself, do you have to bring those construction materials, trade them in, and then
Yes, normally each town has a huge market, and so the shipyard will try to get everything from the market. But what we can see here already is that that's much more than the market can afford. So normally the market would not have 110 metalware on in stock. So you could wait until other traders bring them in. All the little ant traders we just saw, or you could do it on your own. then of course you make the profit and it's faster because everything is simulated. If you want to have wood, you need someone who produces it. Of course, somewhere in the world, wood is produced in many towns, I'm sure. But it needs to be transported, and it's the same wood as all the other people need, and as you need, for example, for construct buildings and stuff like that. So if you build lots of ships, you will have most likely a shortage on many of the construction materials. So you have to produce them on your own, but that's also possible.
Very cool. Okay, awesome.
So we move around a little bit, just show you a little bit of the details in the close camera. I hope they look nice in the stream.
Oh yeah, this is beautiful.
And we used satellite data for the coastal lines and the water, but and also for underwater structures. But of course, we also have a lot of lots of hand modeled details here in the huge world. And if I would move with this speed to another, you can see it on the mini map. You see that the arrow is just very slow. So it would take several minutes to reach the other end of the map. So that's true. It takes too long. So I zoom out and I go back to. I want to show you the city builder part of. So for this, we are closing to Port Royal. In Port Royal, this is our hometown. There's a big difference to other buildings, city builders. We are not going too much into detail with the buildings because we have lots of towns where you can build. There are 60 towns in the world, and maybe depending on how you're playing, maybe you want to build in 10 or 20 or 30 of them. And each town is different. Each town has different raw materials. Each town has different agricultural conditions, other geographical conditions. So they are all different. The size is different, and maybe imagine you want to set up production chains, for example. Everything depends on the region, the town where you are. So it wouldn't make too much sense to go very deep into the city building part. But we also added lots of indications to help the user to understand what his philosophy was in the town, for example, and to help him to get them to optimize each town. Each town will be different and needs to be optimized in a different way. So if we enter the town information here, then we can see that the inhabitants, the first number here, these are the number of people in the town living there. And they all need, the goods. They all need to consume, and some of them are workers. About 25% of them are workers, and these workers are producing all the goods. And you can see when we look on the right side, you can see the satisfaction of the inhabitants, and most influence has the supply of commodities. So as long as a town is small, about 5 commodities will be enough to make them happy. But as a town grows, and the system here is very, very dynamical, so the town can be 10 times of the size. So and then they need more and more luxury goods, and the diversity of the commodities have to grow as well. And this makes trading will become much more important the bigger a town gets. And if the people in the town are not satisfied anymore, they will just drop their work and they will just leave the town. And when they leave the town, they also leave the production sites. And this will have effects on the production of the goods and maybe on your whole production chain. So this is something you always have to avoid.
Right.
And you have to think about. It's easy to maintain a small town, but if you increase a town, it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. Then the people they want more and more different diversity in commodities, and then you have to supply them. And so it's becoming more and more difficult to maintain your production, and the larger it gets. and to maintain your production chains. And you always have to think, okay, this town shall be small and shall stay small, because I don't want to bring too many goods there. I just want to have some iron from there or some wood from there. But then you have other towns, and you say, okay, I need to increase the production here because it's so effective. And then maybe the town has 10,000 people, and so you have to take care about their satisfaction. And then you have to start with trading and building taverns and chapels and markets, hospitals to reduce the risk of plague, for example. So each town is different. And when you look on the left side, you see the possible cultivation and mining. Each town has different bonuses. So for example, you cannot produce grain in each town or wood or let us say or iron. There are some towns for this, and some towns have a bonus. Some towns are at 70 or 80%. So you have to think: do you want to pay the higher price for the production here, or is it better for you to bring them with trading ships?
Right, and then some settlements, obviously, if there's no iron near the city, it's impossible to mine iron. I imagine you have to.
That's not possible. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. It's not possible. There are many goods. For example, all the refined goods you can produce everywhere, but when it comes to cultivation or mining, it has to be in the town.
Right. Okay. So raw materials from the earth, processed materials you can do anywhere.
Yes, that's it. And so let's say we want to enter the rum production here in that town. So I want to build a rum distillery. I need a special concession for that. It's a special good. So I need to ask the viceroy for it. And first, and here it becomes important. How much fame do I have? First, I go to the audience of I can talk with the viceroy. He will tell me about the situation, war and peace in the area, and he will also tell me about tasks he wants me to do for him. And whenever I do something positive for my nation, I get fame, and with the fame, I get fame points, and fame points are like a second currency in the world. Because whenever I need something special, like a concession, or I want to apply for a town administration, I want to have a new town, or if I want to, for example, buy a ship of line, for example, then I need fame points for that, and I can earn fame points with all positive stuff I'm doing. For example, when I'm hunting down piracy, when I help in wars, when I deliver colonial commodities, I will always get fame, and I can use this fame to buy concessions and ships.
Awesome.
Then we have an overview here of the nations. We have a list of the pirates, none at the moment because we just started the game, and then we have the concessions dialogue. Here I can unlock many concessions. Some of them are very special to the nation. So I get a concession for the distillery here, and I also get a concession for a captain license, so that I can hire captains later on. Now I enter the building. The construction menu. Here in the construction menu, you see lots of different colors. You see all the areas where the building, the just selected building can be placed. And that's what I mentioned before, because you are working maybe in 10 or 20 or 30 towns. So we have very clear indications what are positive or negative areas to build your building. For example, if I choose the sugar cultivation, which I need for rum, in this area it's negative to put it here because it's too close to residential houses. So if I put it here, I have no negative effects. Now for the second one, I have positive effects because if I build it here, if I construct it here, just close to the other one, the two construction sites or the two farms will be stitched together to a bigger one, and I will get a production bonus. So it's always It's always better to have them in the same area. Now, if I switch to the rum distillery, I see lots of positive areas. And when I build it here, I get a bonus because the raw materials are nearby, and I get a bonus because there are workers living nearby. So I put them here and the other one here as well. And all the buildings have positive or negative effects on other buildings. And most they can affect, for example, the efficiency of the production, or they can make the satisfaction of the people going down, for example, or they can also increase them. If you build, for example, pubs or parks, then you will increase the satisfaction.
Right.
So, and yeah.
Just curious, is the movement of like raw materials to where they're being processed, is that also simulated, or is it sort of hex based?
No, this is hex based. It's just important that the goods are produced in the town, and you can choose whether the goods are produced and go and sold directly to the market, and then the rum distillery will buy it from the market. There's no loss with selling and buying. The price is the same. So, or you can also build a storage room, a storage house here, and then the goods are stored in your storehouse and taken from there. So you can trade or store. You can set up everything as you want. You could also give it to your convoys, and they bring it to other towns, for example.
Right. Okay. Cool.
That's what we have to look at. So now we have to imagine that you have 20 towns and lots of productions running. So you don't want to trade all the goods manually. You could do that in the beginning, and it's also very funny to see the prices going down and up and make profit. But the game is meant to be played you have to establish many trade routes, and they do the automatic trading for you. So you program your convoys to do the trading. So I enter the trade route mode to show you this. I use edit. Well, sorry. Sometimes I forget something. That's we need trade licenses for each town. We need a trade license. They will become more and more expensive. But so I will buy some of them here. Okay. So now I will enter the trade route again. So here we can see the navigation map. It's a very funny map, which shows us lots of useful information. You can see the streams and the winds, and you can see the shallow waters around the coast. You can see areas that are hostile with pirates, or areas with potential stormy weather, and we could also see areas with no winds. So you choose the towns you want to visit with this tour, and now you can click on the tour and on the lines and just change them. So you can make use of the winds, you can avoid stormy weather and stuff like that.
Oh, wow!
You can optimize this trade route, and you can have 10, 20, as much of them as you want, and you can optimize and during the game you can put them on many convoys. For example, you use this tour for 5 convoys, and if whenever you optimize it, it will be optimized. It will be updated on all the convoys. So you can take your time with this trade route, because you only have to change it once for all of your convoys. And then you click on the town, and in the town you activate the goods for this town. You have to tell the convoy which good has to be unloaded, uploaded, sold, or bought, and you can use the automatic mode for the normal players, but you can also switch off the automatic and set everything you want manually. So you can set a minimum price you want to have for selling, and you can set the number of goods you want to sell. Of course, in the hardcore mode, if you choose the hardcore mode, there will be no automatic. No automatic actions. You have to set everything manually. Okay, right. Now we have only a few minutes left. I have to show you the sea battle. So the sea battles, sometimes, some players like sea battles a lot, and they want to play it, and others just have it in the background. And So we have both possibilities. First is that if you want to participate on sea battles, you need captains. Captains are needed to have armed ships in your convoy, because the captains have command points, and you need the command points for the armed ships. Each captain has a level. The level can be increased because captains gain experience as you use them, and with the experience you can increase their skills. We have lots of skills in the game, but each captain only has a bunch of 4 of them. Captains cost money, so you should only use them if you really need them. When it comes to sea battle, I get I can click on it. If so, you can ignore it, and so the battle will be calculated in the background. But you can click on the battle, and then you can choose and look at the information, and you can choose if you want to have this battle fought automatically or manually. You should always use automatic if you will lose or if you will win, because then the automatic calculation is doing well. For example, if your convoy is very, very weak, the automatic mode will just surrender, and you will have some losses, but your convoy will not be lost. It will not be gone. You will just pay some goods for as a tax, you can say.
Right.
But if you fight, of course, you can lose your ships, for example. So in the manual mode, whenever you think you should enter a battle manually, it will look like this. We're still working on the visuals. It's not finished yet, so I have to hurry up. You can see it's turn-based. Each ship has movement points and turning points. So I click here, for example. I can fire on the other ship. We can see them firing. There also, then if you look here, we can see there are 3 actions. It's like cannonballs for the hull. We have grape shots for the crew. You can also capture ships, and there are lots of tactics here. Each ship comes with a tactic, but there are also consumable tactics which you can earn during the game and use in the sea battles. For example, if you're fulfilling tasks for a town, missions for towns, you will get tactics, and you can use them in the battles. In tactics, for example, you can set fields on fire, or you can put smoke on your ship to make it invisible and stuff like that. If you think you will win the fight, then you can just click on automatic. You will get a prediction. You can proceed fighting now, or you can accept the prediction, and then the fight is over. So you don't have to fight until the end.
On the topic of the end, folks, that's where this video must come to one. Unfortunately, we were a little pressed for time, and I was maybe a little too eager with my questions, but honestly, the chat and demo just completely blew me away. I'm really excited to see how the economy simulates and all the various possibilities this sandbox can provide. As I mentioned earlier, I put out a bit of a summary video that I've linked to in the description down below and under the eye at the top right corner of the screen, so feel free to check that out, where we talk a little bit about the potential that some of these systems can provide and why exactly I'm so excited. Now, I intend to cover Port Royale 4 on the channel for sure. Again, initially, I was just contemplating dipping my toes in, but after hearing about what's going on in the background with this game, I'm ready to dive headfirst into the beautiful blue Caribbean Sea. If you'd like to keep up with coverage, make sure you subscribe to this channel, and let me know you're interested with a comment and a like down below. A massive thanks goes out to all of my channel members and patrons for supporting the channel on a monthly basis. You keep us alive and running smoothly, and a big old thanks goes out to each and every one of you for watching. Until next time, cheers.